I don't want to see Ngani Laumape go to France, being honest. I hope he doesn't sign. There's talk that he's going to head there.
Yeah, well, look, that's going to be up to Ngani, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can stop it other than that. I don't think he's fulfilled his dream, I suppose, yet, has he? Because every time, I think he's always played really well, hasn't he? He's always been right there for the picking and probably the front runner for All Black selection, and then he's got injured. I don't know if you see it that way, but like he's in hot form for the Hurricanes and then probably picked up an injury and just hasn't been able to play the amount of All Black rugby he's wanted. And then again this year, he's hot form again and he's right in line to probably be starting for the All Blacks again. So if he does go to France, then, you know, I wish him well, obviously, but I hope he doesn't, because I think he's got a huge All Black career ahead of him, and he's just, I just think there's parts of his game that he's clearly really determined to work on this year, and like we know the strengths that he has, but I love his attitude that he's taken this year. He's really looking to work on his kicking game. He's really looking to work on his link game, and that doesn't come from a player that's doesn't have a growth mindset. So Ngani, for me, clearly has a growth mindset and clearly wants to get better every day. And so one, that tells me that he's a good leader and others will want to follow him because he's the best in his field. So he has so much more to offer than just the skill set he has on the field, and that's the sort of player you probably want to keep in the game. And you want to keep in New Zealand as well. So that's me being the outside looking in. I don't know Ngani personally. I've only been rolled by him personally. But those are the sorts of things, and the effort he's putting on his work on areas, to me, shows a lot more about his character and where he could potentially get to.
You know, we've always known how much of a dominant ball carrier Ngani is, and how much he imposes people as well on there, and you know, has had a lot of success in the All Black jersey and in the Hurricanes jersey as well, run his running game. But yeah, the changes in his game that he's tried to implement, you know, I look at his kicking games, his crossfield kicks. He's had a couple of those this year where have been for a try assist, little grubbers are inside the 22, being able to see where the kick space is. And you know, you'd probably say back in 2017 probably didn't have that in his repertoire, you know, a couple of years ago. But now he's trying to evolve and trying to give that that pivot, you know, that second five pivot where, you know, he plays. That's what they're looking for, you know, a guy that can be that triple threat. And I think Ngani is making a conscious effort to try and do that. And so when you've got an individual that's driven and wants to be like that as a coach, you know, that's who you want in a player who's obviously got that growth mindset, and he's actually doing it at that level. So, you know, I think it'd be a shame for him to leave, and especially where I agree with Jip, he's got so much to give more in the All Blacks jersey. He's given a lot to the Hurricanes, and you know, hasn't been injured in a lot of those campaigns. So you've been able to see that on a recurring theme all the time. But I think for the All Black level, it's been able to, you know, not get injured, and then being able to play and implement the things that he's done so well at the Hurricanes, not just this year, but you know, for a long time. So fingers crossed he stays in New Zealand. I think anytime we do play against him, I'm very similar to Jip, been steamrolled by him for a couple of times. So if he did go, you know, it'd be nice not to get that number 12 running down the channel. But yeah, I think he's got a lot more to give in New Zealand rugby, and you can see with how he's playing around, how he's evolved, and how much better he's got around different parts of his game.
Yeah, he's full of surprises, Ngani Laumape. That's what I like about him. I mean, you talk about the growth mindset, you know. He'll hit you with more speed than you thought he had. Then he'll hit you with the ability to be at first receiver, like Bryn said, you know. Yeah. And what that does for the opposition is make them go, oh no, how do we defend this guy? What's he actually going to do?
Well, that's, you know, like, look at it this year. Past years, we're used to seeing him on the left or right flank for the crossfield kick, or, you know, the just getting him on edge and space to use his, you know, either his speed or his ability to bump players. But this year we've seen him at first receiver distributing, and next minute he's out the back of that forward pod. Next minute he's running a decoy line. Like, he's played so many roles for the betterment of his team, and that's where you get another insight to his leadership and his willingness to do what's best for the team, and all these other little avenues, and that's what I mean as well. Like, there's so much more that he's offering in that Canes environment than just his play, and that is just as valuable as that skill set and ability that he's giving on a Saturday to that Monday to Friday preparation and I suppose mentorship and ability for others to follow and see, okay, that's what he's doing, this is what I should be doing, and it's that come with me sort of style as well. So that whole package that he can offer is pretty valuable.
And when you look at the way they've selected the All Black midfielders over the last few years, they've gone for all-rounders. They've gone for guys like Jack, like Anton Leonard-Brown, guys who've got a little bit of everything. And there is no way in the world you could argue now that that is not Ngani Laumape.
No, no. Oh, you go, Bryn.
You go.
Well, no, I don't think it is. You can't argue with it, and I think he's still refining it. But and I don't want to put this pressure on him because those players are different. Because I don't think they've got the same strengths as he has, and he doesn't have the same strengths. They're quite different style of players. But one player that he does remind me of, and like I don't want to put this pressure on. I hate comparing players, but he is like a Mata Nonu. He's trending in the same direction. The way he's growing his game. Mata was the same. He was told he needed to work on his kicking, and he did that and worked, and he grew into the world's best second five, and still is playing extremely well to this day. And again, understanding how I spent time with Mata in an environment, he's the same person with a growth mindset and what he can offer squads. So, I think that's more of a like for like in the trajectory of his career. And if we could get him hanging around and build into something like that, he's got a hell of a lot to offer.
And I think that's the important thing, Jip. I think Mata went through a similar situation where had actually spent a lot of time, had been in the Hurricanes environment, and stuck it out in New Zealand, and he reaped the rewards of that, being able to be a linchpin and an important part in the All Blacks jersey for that 2011 and 2015 World Cup. So again, obviously Ngani's going to make the best decision for himself and his family moving forward. But yeah, I think he's just got a lot more to give in New Zealand rugby because of just where his game's going and the kind of growth and changes that he's made into his game, which are only going to benefit him next at the All Black level if he ends up playing and having that opportunity.
And it's an area where there is opportunity. I mean, there are so many candidates there that can be mixed and matched.
That's what I mean. I think he's a different type of player. Do you know what I mean? Like, to Anton, to Jack, to Rico, they would be he would mix into quite a good little combination. Yeah, they wouldn't be all like for like. That would give them the ability to play different styles and have different combinations against different opposition and not be the All Blacks wouldn't be like a one-trick pony or just relying on the same guys all the time. And I think that would be great balance for Ian Foster and co to have in the stables.